Welcome, everyone, to another edition of the Games Talk Live podcast. Of course, I am here, Jay Fonzarelli, along with my co-host, Hargeet Chani. Hargeet, how has it been this past week, my friend?
Been good enough. Yeah, been dealing. I just switched jobs last week to a new place and been kind of learning all the stuff in the new place. Yeah,
nice.
So I've been learning, and that's kind of been about my day and week, whatever. So just been going through all the trainings and trying to figure out who's who.
So not much in the way of gaming for you, I suppose, since you were.
Haven't really done too much. Yeah. No, haven't really played too much. No, I should go back to it, but not really.
Oh, you know what? I myself have been getting a lot of stuff done this week. I've had a lot of stuff to do outside of the whole gaming sphere. But along with that, talking about the games, just getting back into that is, for myself, I've been playing a lot of Red Dead Redemption 2 on the PC, with a ton of mods that are out there for the PC version. It is becoming more like Skyrim every day, it seems. Red Dead 2, if you guys have only played it on console, let me tell you, on PC, it's a different world with those mods. It changes so much. I mean, the possibilities there are freaking endless. There's so much going on with the mods. It transforms the game into like a different game almost. Like it's really good. Some of the stuff that they got going on. I use a lot of quality of life mods in the game. Stuff that just makes it easier on the gamer, not specifically like combat or something, but when it comes to fast traveling and things like that, getting around the map, you can get around faster. But there's a lot of cool stuff out there, man. And there's even mods where you can play other characters, Hargeet, like in the game. It's crazy. Like, and they've got fully voiced lines and everything. Great. It's crazy. That's why a lot of people are kind of saying it's kind of like Skyrim with the mods. It's getting there. Shout out to Colt Eastwood, who's also been playing a lot of Red Dead 2 online. Well, he's playing online and offline as well as I am.
Oh, really?
But he's been playing it on the PC as well. So he's been having a lot of fun. He's not using any mods yet, though. I think he's going to go into it, though, because I keep enticing him to. I keep telling him about certain mods. Like, there's stuff. Yep. Like, I don't know if you ever played the game, Hargeet. Did you play it?
Yeah, I finished.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So, do you remember when you could be anywhere. You could be out in the woods and you can like kill somebody, and all of a sudden somebody jumps out of a tree out of nowhere. I saw what you did. I'm telling the law. And he goes running off. And if you catch him, some other guy comes out of the woodwork. I saw that. I'm telling the law. And that's annoying as shit. So I got rid of that in my game. Modded that stuff out. Like, no witnesses around, especially in the woods and stuff. It makes no sense. In town, you do something wrong, sure, you're going to get caught. But when you're out there in the world, those witnesses are just dumb, in my opinion. But, so I've been playing a lot of that. And speaking of Rockstar, real quick, I don't know if you saw the leaks that were coming about GTA 6. Supposedly costing $2 billion in development. Insane, by the way. Also, they're saying that the map is going to get progressively bigger as you play the game. That seems kind of cool. That to me just seems like it opens up, as you play it.
Yeah, so the usual, right?
Yeah. And of course, we already know you. Well, it's rumored that you're going to be able to play both protagonists, the male and female, in the game. I just don't know how that's going to work. And I don't know about you, but I would rather it work where I could choose who I want to play at all times rather than, a set mission for each. I don't know how you would rather play that, but.
Well, I mean, like, so GTA 5, they had the 3 protagonists, right? And you kind of swapped between them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought that was pretty cool. I don't know.
It is because.
Yeah.
Now, this is the first time. Well, I think Dan Houser started to write GTA 6 before he left. So maybe we should get a really good story because he was the storyteller of Rockstar. And so I'm hoping that we get a good story there. And usually with their characters, you get a good story. And so hopefully that's going to be something that we all look forward to playing. But $2 billion in cost, that's a lot. But you know what? They made that back in like 2 weeks with GTA 5.
That's the thing. So it doesn't matter, right? So they know,
Yeah.
they have the calculus. It's going to be okay. They'll be fine.
Yeah, I think so. I definitely think so. Let's get into our first main topic here. And this is kind of breaking news today. Popular gaming insider Shinobi has said that another Xbox exclusive will be going to PlayStation next week. It'll be announced at Gamescom. Of course, Gamescom being on the 20th of this month. Hargeet, the rumor is that this is Forza Horizon 5.
Horizon 5. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, I know a little somebody who may be in the chat still who told me, yeah, I've known about this for a while. And I'm like, really? So why didn't you tell me? Anyways.
Because he doesn't trust you.
Yeah, so Forza Horizon 5, there's a lot, dude, there is a lot of things that people have entrusted in me that I've never told on this show or anywhere out in public, because if somebody says, hey, keep a secret, I can keep a secret. Like the Cyberpunk console, and that was coming out for the Xbox One X back in the day. I knew about that long before it was coming out. I didn't say anything. I just kept it under wraps. But it's, you know,
unlike Tom Warren, I shouldn't call out names.
Yeah, a lot of people,
hey.
you know, we can talk a bit about that too. Tom Warren apparently didn't sign an NDA.
You have a no-no.
But there was a game in which he was playing that had a screen come up telling you not to talk about it. And instead of signing that, they sort of just hit the escape button and get around that NDA. And they think that's good. Like,
valid.
That's not how it works, and that's not how it should work. So I understand a lot of people hating on Tom Warren for that, because you just can't get around the NDAs like that. That's not cool. That's not cool, because you know it's there, but you're saying, oh, but I didn't sign it, and I still got access to the game. That's oh my gosh. Terrible. I'm all for journalistic integrity, and that is not it. That is definitely not it. I was talking to Colt about that earlier today, because, you know, I'm all for journalists. Like, if they don't sign an NDA and they were not asked to, by all means, spill the beans. Report what you got to report. But if you were asked not to, and just because you had a loophole around it,
so
doesn't
Colt
make
is
it
saying,
right.
by the way, it's not Forza Horizon 5.
Oh, so now he's saying it's not. Okay. Interesting. What do you think it could be, Hargeet?
I mean, it's 1 year from release, so maybe Starfield? That could be a potential.
Yeah, that's what I brought up to him too, but a lot of people are saying, well, you know, why would it be Starfield? They don't have the DLC ready or anything, but why not? I mean, get them all hooked on it now. When the DLC does drop, they've got Starfield. Sounds plausible.
I mean, that outside of that, it would have to be another game that, like, so the only game that worked was Sea of Thieves, and that's kind of just a live service fun game, right? I don't know what else would you want besides like Halo or Gears or I mean, the other games are already there. Overwatch and Call of Duty, those are already there, right? So Minecraft's already there. What else can they throw over there? Like,
one thing we were
that kind of makes
spitballing.
sense.
One thing we were spitballing is Flight Simulator. It's another one that could go. And by the way, if
that's a possibility.
If Flight Sim did make it over there to the PlayStation, and they actually buy it, call them frauds, because last I heard, none of the Sony camp wanted anything to do with that game because it wasn't a game. Remember that? It's not a game. It's not a game.
By the way, I'm all for that. I think that should be everywhere because that's not. I think that is because it's a simulator along with the game component, but like it is a simulator that simulates real world flying, right? I think that's just a good thing to have everywhere, right? Because
Yeah.
more people who have access to that, that's kind of cool, right? It literally teaches you how to fly, right? If you want to take it to every little switch, every little thing, you can literally learn how to fly.
Cole,
It's like you might as well have that there.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, but he's saying think bigger. Cole, what are you talking about, man? Come on. Spill the beans already. Halo Infinite. What about
that
Halo
makes
Infinite?
sense too, because it's multiplayer, right? It would have to be something like that.
Yeah.
What else are they going to put? What else are they going to put there? Forza Horizon 5 is pretty big.
But
outside of that, it's going to be like Halo or Gears, right?
Yeah, how badly would the internet burn? Fanboys on either side burning down the internet over Halo Infinite going to PlayStation.
Well, if
I think
we're
it would be
okay with
pretty
it being like
crazy.
If Forza can go, then why wouldn't it be those? Like, so
Yes, Colt, we would like a DM with your surprise face.
You with my surprise face?
Yes, do that. Text me. Better yet, text me. I got my phone right here, so go ahead and text
or
me.
just freaking jump in and talk about it.
Yeah, you could always jump on and tell us. Like, you can break it down right here. I'm all for that as well, Colt. Same link as last week, by the way. So if you have that link, you can jump in. You can call in and get right onto the show. It's crazy. But yeah,
Look,
either way, I think it'd be
this is
insane.
fine. It's just the way it is. Like they're going to put more games on the other side, and like,
Yeah.
you have to look at the future of what's happening, and this is kind of the direction. It just is what it is. Like, you could hope that they wouldn't touch Halo, Gears, and Forza, but I think they eventually will do that.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm getting a phone call. Yeah, Colt.
Hey, how's it going? Are you on your show? I'm just kidding. I know you're on your show.
Yes, and you were on the air.
Hi, everyone. I don't think we know, and
Oh,
I'm
okay,
trying
you don't
my
know.
best to spitball like what possibly could be. But my best guesstimation. Well, I have one that I can't talk about because.
Are you under NDA? Just hit the escape button. It's that easy.
Oh,
Ask Tom Warren.
There's yeah. I'll just hit the escape button and just screw. There's something that I'm gonna get to check out soon. That's part of Gamescom. But if it's an older game, maybe it's Halo Master Chief Collection. That's a really super good educated guess.
Right.
So I want you guys to discuss that, and I'm gonna get back to making dinner and listen to your great show.
All right. Okay. Later. Wow. So he doesn't know. He thought he knew, but apparently it's not Forza Horizon 5. Master Chief Collection makes a lot of sense. I think starting there would make a lot more sense than Halo Infinite, but it's still Halo.
Yeah.
Either way, it's going to be kind of weird to make that adjustment to see games going onto competing platforms. It's going to be weird for a while to see that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not mad about it. It's just weird. Because
Yeah.
I see, like, I know where they're going with this. I mean, of course, you know too. It's the
Abdel is
business
saying
aspect.
That's what it is.
Yeah. He has proof, he says. Well, yeah. We heard rumors about them working on the Master Chief Collection for a while, actually. So makes a lot of sense. Colt Classic Cage says, hit the like button. You better hit the like button or she'll hit you. I'll allow her to hit you. No, I'm just kidding. No, what's up, Cass? Good to see you.
I just said this at Booms, right, like a few hours ago. I look at this differently now. Like, essentially, they're going to put their games everywhere. You can just accept that.
Mhm.
And what that does mean is they're going to expand. So the differentiator is they want to make more money. And if it's not going to be a platform play, it's going to be a games play. Right.
Yeah.
So they're going to go get more games. And like the assumption that they're just going to sit on the not do anything anymore. That doesn't happen. Business does not stop. They're not going to say, you know what, we're just happy not growing anymore. That never, ever happens, ever. And you're that big a company, they're always looking for how to make more. So they're gonna go find the next big game that they can buy, and so you can take a guess as to which ones they are. There's only a handful, right? The big handful of games. There's EA, there's Take-Two, there's Epic. Those are going to be targets. One of those they're going to go pick up.
Well, I thought it was going to be WB.
So, who cares about WB? What do they have?
Exactly.
What
I was going to ask you that question, Hargeet. What is the point of everybody saying they should get WB? Because WB, the last I heard, the gaming division doesn't. They don't own. Yeah, but they don't own like the Batman franchise. They don't own. They do
own all that.
Well,
all of
the
WB
games themselves. Yes, you would have to buy all of Warner Brothers. Yeah.
Yeah, which they could. It's not expensive.
They're not going to do that.
The problem is, do they want to go into those verticals or not?
Yeah.
Right? Because that's a whole bunch of headache they would have to take on. And they did it before, and they hated it so much they got rid of it. Right? They did that with NBC, and they got rid of it. So, I don't know. Maybe they want to go do that, right? If they shed all the TV stuff, they might be able to do it, right? And then say, hey, we'll just buy the production arm, own all the IPs, do the movies, do the TV shows, and then sell them to the TV providers, right? And leave it at that, right? Keep HBO, keep Max, maybe even enable a bundle with that in Game Pass. Cool, right? But I don't know if they would want to go into those verticals or not. It's a whole set of business that they're not in.
I don't want them to buy anything right now. I want them to just work on games that they have with the studios they have now. That's it. Like
I think they're going to.
You think they're going to keep expanding their
what business says I want to stop expanding?
A business that's not successful with what they have currently.
How are they not successful?
They haven't successfully put out big games consistently yet.
What big games do you want?
I want the games.
Their games sell more than
Fable,
PlayStation games. Their
talking
games
about,
make more than PlayStation games.
Yeah, but I'm talking. You asked me what games. You asked me what games. I'm talking about Fable, Indiana Jones. Those things are big games for them. But they haven't produced it yet, and we haven't.
Came out. We're going to ignore that Psychonauts came out. We're going to ignore that Halo came out. That Starfield came out. We're going to ignore that Forza Motorsport came out. We're going to ignore that. I keep going.
We need consistency. Yeah, but we need consistency with them.
They have more consistency than PlayStation. I'm sorry, but that's just a fact. People just keep overlooking it. PlayStation had 2 years this generation where they had shit. 2021 they had shit. 2024
but they had
games.
Shit. They did have games, even though they were remakes. They had remakes.
I'm not counting remakes. Fuck remakes.
But they were successful.
I don't care about remakes. Because if you want to talk about remakes, then in 2022 they had remakes too. I don't care about remakes. Xbox put out remakes. I don't care about remakes. That's bullshit.
Yeah,
I'm
just telling you. They want good games and consistency. That's what gamers want.
This generation, shit, nothing.
Well,
they had shit years.
People can say that this generation. If you're looking at it like that, this whole generation has been shit when it comes to big games.
I agree. It's been very abysmal.
From either Xbox or PlayStation.
If you're only looking
at just those two.
Exclusives for each platform.
Yeah,
but
first party.
Games, there's plenty of games.
But again, like, BT Maverick brought up a good point. Like certain games like Returnal didn't sell crazy numbers,
they didn't.
It's just like this next thing I want to get into. Hi-Fi Rush finding a new home with Craft. Who was it? Krafton,
right?
Krafton.
Yeah.
They picked them up.
Yeah.
The PUBG. They have the PUBG studios there.
It's great.
Now here's the thing. But again, that's a game that was highly acclaimed, but didn't sell.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Not that it matters to Xbox because they have Game Pass to subsidize it. That wasn't the issue they had with
and they're keeping Tango Gameworks, the rest of what is Tango. They're keeping them intact over there at Krafton. Great. Now will people shut up about Hi-Fi Rush and Tango Gameworks? Like I'm tired of hearing about that.
No. They're not.
Why not?
Because no matter what happens, Xbox back. It doesn't matter. Xbox could go give $1 trillion to every human being on the planet. Xbox back. There's nothing they can do to get rid of that. That's just the way it is. The next game they make is not going to sell well. They're going to say Xbox fault. That's just the way it is. It does not matter. It will always be Xbox fault.
Wow.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked. They haven't blamed Xbox for Bungie yet, because they will. Watch.
No,
They will. Watch. You
there's
watch. They will.
Bungie is the blame for Bungie. Bungie just, man, the mismanagement there at Bungie themselves. Okay, because they wanted to be, a separate entity from Sony. That was what they wanted really badly, even though they signed that terrible deal with Sony that stated they had to sell a certain amount, make a certain amount, or they'll get absolved into their company, basically. That's what happened to them. Now we're hearing from Jason Schreier. Yeah, we're hearing from Jason Schreier that Marathon is in development hell. Marathon. It might not even make the 2025 release. It was supposed to be released this year, by the way, guys. So,
Yep.
crazy. That
We'll
tell
see
you
what is PlayStation's roadmap for next year? Well, we'll find out, won't we?
Well,
Maybe
apparently,
next year.
there's rumors going around, and these are strictly rumors that they've got so much that they're going to come out with next year to announce anyway. That's going to blow people away. I don't know what those are. What
They're going to
games,
announce things next year.
but they're going to announce
so
things.
nothing coming
Doesn't
next
mean it doesn't mean they're dropping next year. But
So that's 2
announcements,
years of shit.
announcements, and perception. Perception is a huge thing amongst gamers. And when you look at a company that announces some great games coming up, that could be 6 months, that could be 4 or 5 years, it could be 8 years. But as long as they announce something that people are going, that game looks fire, people are excited. And that's the world we live in. By the way, real quick, before I get too far into the other topics and stuff, Kelly Choi, super chatted $2, says, Red Dead is nice. Have you heard about Deep Woken? No, I have not heard about Deep Woken. Have you, Argy? Not heard about Deep Woken.
No.
Thank you, by the way, for that super chat. Appreciate it. But yeah, I don't know,
So
man.
if you want to get back into the Tango and all that,
Yeah.
look, here's the problem, right? So Matt Booty came out and told us why that happened, and why it happened is because there was no leadership, and so they didn't see a future, right? They didn't know what the hell to do with it. The headache they run into here, specifically with Tango, is they're not there. They can't help this team because they're not there, right? So it's not like Matt Booty could walk over or say, here's my team and I'll have them come over. First off, there's a whole cultural headache of Japan versus America. They're not going to just take somebody from America and say, you're my boss, and it just works. It's not that easy. So you have to figure out somebody over there that's going to do that. Who the heck you're going to go get? There's your problem, right? So I'm hoping Krafton actually has that ability. They're right there in South Korea, right? So they might have some ability to do that kind of thing over there. It was just not going to work for Xbox to do it. I just that's what I'm reading from the hints they're throwing out there, because it wasn't about the money making of Hi-Fi Rush. It was more the fact they didn't know what the hell else to do with it, right? They couldn't sustain a whole studio with just Hi-Fi Rush. They had to have other games come out of them, and they just didn't know who could go run those other games. Who's going to go make those other games? Because all they got from what's his name, Johansson?
Yeah.
Is, I'll make the Hi-Fi Rush 2 game. Like, okay, so maybe you'll take 15% of the studio and go do that. What about the rest?
Yeah, the gentleman that was there, the lead there at that studio beforehand, and then he left. He took some guys. He took some guys with him. He probably took the best
others
of what
left and made
Tango
their own
had.
stuff too.
Exactly. So they were a shell of their former selves anyway. Exactly.
And so once that happened, you're like, okay, so from Xbox's perspective, it's like, how do we fix this? They want to get into Japan. They're not in Japan. They don't have anybody else to go say, oh, you know what? Hey, we have this publishing arm. Can we throw you underneath there? And they can maybe help you and coach you and get you to the point where you can make your own stuff. Cool. They can't do that. So it just sucks. It is what it is. I kind of get it. Arcane.
And I get some people's I get some people's thoughts on Tango, like Colt Classic Age, for instance, in the chat. There's people out there who say sort of the same thing. She says, the shame is Tango had yet to make an objectively bad game. Now, they've made a lot of smaller games that a lot of people liked, but not a lot of people liked. Not enough to buy anyway. And that was an issue. Like Evil Within in those games, For me,
The
I
first
didn't
one
care.
did okay, and then
I
the
didn't
rest
care for those
fizzled.
games. I don't care for
Yeah.
Tango Works. I don't care for their games anyway. Hi-Fi
Yeah.
Rush, it was okay, but nothing that was like, oh my god, blew my mind type of thing
It
for
didn't
me.
sell on PlayStation either, right? And
But yeah, it's not.
maybe it
it's
would
not,
have
it's not a
sold on
banger.
Switch if it got there, but
Um,
you know.
And that's the thing. A lot of people talk about, hey, even some multiplats that are AAA don't sell very well on multi, platforms. But at the end
Alan
of the
Wake
day,
2?
Alan
Hasn't made
Wake
its
2
money
is
back
another
yet.
one that didn't sell good.
Right? Hasn't
But
made
the
its
thing
money
is, that's another one that's a critically acclaimed game. But just because it's a critically acclaimed game doesn't mean that the masses are going to buy it. It doesn't
Right.
mean that most gamers are going to be into it. Those are two different distinctions. It could be critically acclaimed and a game that nobody plays. Just a handful of reviewers and, maybe a few gamers out there. But that's just the way it is. Like, you have
Yep.
to appeal to a wider audience.
like
with,
Rebirth, right? FF7 Rebirth, that didn't sell very well either.
you know what? Unfortunately,
but
I'm a fan
Critically,
of.
very highly rated.
Yeah, I'm a Final Fantasy fan, and I'm waiting to play Rebirth on PC, by the way. I can't wait to play it when it does hit PC. But even for me, I know that Final Fantasy doesn't hit that metric they used to. The franchise is not what it used to be. Outside of Final Fantasy 14, Final Fantasy itself is not the juggernaut it once was back in the PS2 days, even the PS3 days. That's just the reality. And I know some Sony guys may come at me for that, but you know what? The sales prove that.
I mean, facts are facts, right? Since
Yeah,
15,
sales.
they've really been just going downhill. Unfortunately, sales have just not been the same.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm a big fan of Final Fantasy, so I'm not here just talking crap. I want to play that Rebirth, but it didn't sell well. It's critically acclaimed, though, and it looks good to me. So, yeah, it looks more like a Ubisoft type game. The way the world opens up, there's so much to do on the map. Somebody told me that while they were playing it. They said, "You're going to like this, Fonz." I said, "Why?" They said, "It's a lot like a Ubisoft game." I said, "That sounds excellent." So, I'm going to be playing that for sure. Speaking about a game that's not doing well, Helldivers 2. Apparently, a lot of the community, and I'm not shocked at all, are upset with the game and want it to die. Straight up want the game to die at this point.
What happened?
Well, the developers themselves have rebalanced, they call it, the game so much to where it's not fun anymore. This is the consensus of a lot of the community. They've nerfed everything to the ground rather than trying to maybe buff certain weapons to match other weapons or whatever. They just nerf everything and make the enemies harder. And they're thinking, their thought process for sure is probably, we need to keep them engaged longer, so they need to have a harder time getting through the content. But that's not the way you do things. So one person that I read somewhere, I forgot if it was a forum or a YouTube comment, and it made me laugh. He said it perfectly. He said, it's like the developers, here, I think I have it here. I'm going to pull it up. Where is it? I can't even find it. Man, see, that's how lost I am. Anyways, he said this to the effect of, it's like the developers accidentally created a fun game and it wasn't finished yet. But then when they finally started to finish the game, they ruined it. Because
that sucks.
yeah,
That's too bad.
So I looked today. The average player count for this game is like 36,000 now. At one time, it was almost half a million. You're looking
36,000 is still really good.
36,000. No, I've been looking around and I've been looking at.
But-
It's good, but when you fall that hard, from
Yep.
half a million
No,
to
fair
freaking
enough.
36,000.
But
That's
I'd be happy at
drop.
36,000. That's still fantastic.
And people are
But
saying it's
yeah,
just
I
getting lower and
understand it is
lower.
quite a bit of a drop.
Yeah, like today it was at 32. Today. And I was just
Yeah,
like,
and this is Steam numbers, right? Not
Steam
the
numbers.
PlayStation
Steam numbers. It's
Okay.
Steam numbers.
So there's gonna be a little bit more on
And
there
it's
too,
and you
right?
know what?
So whatever.
It's Steam is more representative of how this game is doing than PlayStation. I'll say that right now.
Yeah,
And I'm confident.
According to
in saying
them, that's true. Yeah.
that. Yeah. So it's sad though, because this is one game that was truly one of the ones that people were saying, this gas game is really fun, really great, really engaging. And now they're total opposite in that
Dead
community. And the thing is,
That's too bad.
yeah, it is too bad. You don't want to see that with any game, no matter what your feelings or whatever side you're on this war, this plastic war. But I just thought that was pretty funny, because I personally, the first time I played this game, and I played a few matches with Colt, I played with my brothers and stuff. By the way, my brothers loved this game, but they no longer play the game because of this issue. They just don't find it fun anymore. When I played it, I thought it got boring quickly. Like, I could only play a couple of matches, and then I would think to myself, this doesn't have any legs for me. It doesn't have any legs. So, I don't know. It's not shocking to me that this is happening, because a lot of developers tend to do that. They tend to overwork these rebalances, and they kill the joy out of games, because you want to feel strong in a game like this, especially a game where you're killing these massive bugs or robots or whatever. You just want to feel powerful, especially with the whole setup. They beam you down from a spaceship onto these planets, and you just feel tough. And them taking that aspect away, it's just like, what am I doing this for? I don't want to just beat my head up against a wall. This is not Souls. This is not Dark Souls. This is a shooter. They want to fun, and it's like, it's so obvious yet not apparent enough for these developers to understand that what people want out of these games are just a fun experience. That you want to feel tough. You want a good feeling shooter, of course, but you never want to lose that element of, I am a badass in this game. When you lose that, you lose interest. That's just the way I think, and I don't know. It's just sad. It's sad that things like this happen. But yeah, that's what's going on with Helldivers 2. What else was I going to bring up? There's a lot to talk about, guys. Fergus Urquhart, of course, the lead at Obsidian, he said something that me and Colt have been talking about recently. He said this about their games. He said Pentiment and Grounded were awesome. Avowed will be great, and Outer Worlds 2 will be incredible. Sounds awesome for Outer Worlds 2, but that Avowed, not so awesome, in my opinion. Why would he word it this way? Because it makes it sound like Avowed is just, it's going to be okay. I know the word great is better than okay, but he said that Pentiment and Grounded were awesome, and then he's like, Avowed will be great. Oh, by the way, Outer Worlds 2 will be incredible. Doesn't that sound wrong to put it that way? Do you think this was kind of a blunder on his part, or do you think that he meant what he said?
I don't know. Whatever. It's hard to tell, right?
Especially
is there
in
a
writing.
track record of the way he speaks, about games? Does he do this often? Is this just kind of normal, right? He's just looking at words that are cool, good, that mean it's good, and he just comes up with a couple of different words to say different things or different ones. I don't know. It just depends. I'm sure he's not trying to denigrate his own games, but who knows? It
just doesn't come across as sounding confident in the game. I don't know.
Yeah.
I even Colt was like, man, that doesn't sound good. Why is he saying it this way? And I was like, yeah, I don't know, man. How are you going to be awesome, great, incredible?
Here's the problem that you always have, though. It doesn't matter. It's Xbox. It's going to always get shit on anyway. So, first, it's Obsidian isn't going to give you a game that's a 95, right? So you're just going to have to accept that. So, what you're going to get, It's going to be a mid-80s game, and that'll get shit on because, well, it's Xbox, so expect a low 80s. That's what you're going to get. So, I'm not going to be surprised when it comes in that way. It might be a high 70, low 80. That's all I expect. Like, I don't know. I'm not expecting much more than that. So
yeah, I'm expecting more from this game. Not in terms of what other people think about it, but my personal score. I'm expecting high 80s for me, only because of the pedigree of the studio and what they've done with other RPGs. That's where I'm coming from. Hopefully, like, that's the case. And I'm still not going to be like, oh, I'm not playing it now because he said it's only going to be great while he called these other games awesome or incredible. No, of course not. That's stupid. But it just kind of made me feel like, why did he say it like that? And I'm like, oh, what does he mean? And I don't know. It was just a really weird way of putting it. Yeah, just a really weird way. Doom: The Dark Ages, by the way, will not have all the platforming that we saw in Eternal, apparently. So no jumping around from pillar to pillar and climbing, and all this stuff. They say they're going to focus more on the ground combat of the original games. So I'm down for that. I'm good with that. Even if there's a little bit of platforming here and there, that's fine. Eternal, I was fine with the platforming, but I get it. I'd rather Doom be more boots on the ground anyway. And I think the game's going to be great. It looks fantastic. It looks like a Doom game. I mean, it is Doom, so it's going to be fun. It's going to feel incredible, especially on the 4090. It's going to be real good. Can't wait for that. I don't know. How do you feel about this?
Series S and X, I think it'll be great.
No,
it'll also be on PS5, right?
Yeah.
So
Doom Eternal was great on the Series X and S.
Yeah.
Ran great.
Yeah, they did some incredible stuff with that. Id Tech's really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it'll be good. Whatever. I didn't play much of Eternal. I played a bit of Doom 2016. Just, I don't know. I just get bored of it after a while. I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Doom Dark Ages looks really good. I can't wait for that game. So I don't know.
I'm much more interested in Gears, and I'm much more
me too. Of course, Gears for sure. Gears. That's probably my most anticipated when it comes to Xbox is the Gears franchise. But man, Doom is incredible. So I'm looking forward to this. Chad, I was going to ask you guys, are you guys excited? Are you guys more happy in hearing that there's going to be less platforming, or do you want more platforming in the game like Eternal? I don't know. Yeah, Biff Rinaldi says there will be platforming, but not during combat, apparently. Yeah, and that's fine. That's great. It's less platforming, so that's good. Cool. I'm all for it. Hargeet, real quick, how do you feel about game reviewers or previewers even being wined and dined by game developers before a launch? Or most importantly, before reviews come out for their games? Like Ubisoft lately was accused of wining and dining their influencers, taking them out to Disneyland and stuff for Star Wars Outlaws.
Yeah.
What do you think about this sort of thing?
I mean, it's par for the course. It's up to you to be, non-biased, but look, that kind of stuff is going to create a little bit of a bias. There's no way around it, right? They do it for a reason. It makes it seem like it's a bigger thing than it is, right? So that's why you tend to start at a certain level and then say, okay, maybe it'll go down a little bit, but it'll go up a little bit, right? So instead of it just being, hey, this is what I played, this is what I feel about it, you might start it at it has to be an 8 or more, and something stupid like that. And by the way, that also is what goes with Sony, right? It might not be as much of an Xbox shitting on, but more Sony just gets a higher thingy that if you don't play ball, we're not going to give you shit. So you better be playing ball. So don't be scoring anything below an 8. This is kind of the thing that happens. So the whining and dining, yeah, whatever. Is this it's just normal for me? I just assume this stuff happens. It's just the way it is, right? So,
yeah.
Not every game, but bigger games, they're going to do it. That's just the way it is. Especially Disney owns Star Wars. It's a Star Wars game. They were going to do something weird like this. Whatever.
Exactly. I put a poll in the chat, by the way. Do you guys basically trust game reviewers these days. Does whining and dining actually have? Well, I mean, it's an honest question because there's a few that I do trust. I do have a few out there that I trust on YouTube, influencers and stuff. But for the most part, I don't, especially Metacritic and stuff. Like when I look at the whole aggregate scores and everything, I take that with a grain of salt because when I see Cell Phone Weekly being a reviewer of a game, I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, who was behind this and what were they given? Because honestly, Ubisoft is kind of being picked on right now, obviously, for AC Shadows. That's one of the main reasons. Yeah. And of course, this being one of the biggest franchise there is, Star Wars, they're making their first attempt at a game with Star Wars like this. It's a big deal. And so I understand the whining and dining thing. I mean, that's where whining and dining, the term comes up is because of stuff like this. This is what they do in many industries. They whine and dine people to try to get them on their side. It's just it's par for the course, as you put it earlier. I don't see this being any different. It's pretty extravagant though when you look at how much Disneyland tickets are and everything, and they were like giving trips.
But you have to understand, for them it doesn't cost anything. Right? It's just the electricity because it's Disney doing it for themselves, right? This is a promotion they're running for themselves, so they're not paying for that. They just use it. They absorb the internal cost. So it's not going to cost nearly that much.
And I know that feeling you get.
Better yet, Fonz, if you want to know the internals, what they're going to do is say full price cost, even though they didn't actually spend it, and take a tax rebate from it. So this is how tax, how all these corporations don't pay any taxes. That's how they do it. They'll do this giveaway that totally benefits them, right? This is obviously going to benefit them. They'll say it costs them, $2,000 per person when it really only costs $50.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's $2,000 against their taxes.
Yeah, you're 100% right. This is how they manipulate the system. It works for these big corporations. You're 100% right. I was going to say, I kind of felt like not wined and dined, but I know when we went to the gaming conventions in LA and we went to that IGN thing and they started to give you some free swag and stuff, you're thinking to yourself, maybe they're not all that bad. And that was just a few things they're giving you, right? And then at the end of the day, you're like, it's still IGN. F them, and you walk out with the free swag. But imagine that on a much bigger scale for these previewers and reviewers of these games that cost millions of dollars to make and market. They're bringing them in, giving them fancy dinners, hotel rooms, all this stuff, and Disneyland trips. And of course, they're going to be swayed, some of them. It's going to happen. People will collect the bag for a review. So that's why I don't trust most reviewers anyway. Yeah. Especially
so look, it got pretty obvious when Last of Us 2 had a high 90s freaking Metacritic. When you look at the user score and it's like some people loved it, some people absolutely hated it. And it's like, dude, you can't tell me there aren't a percentage of reviewers that said, fuck this game. Yeah, but no, apparently every single reviewer loved it. I'm like, come on.
The game itself is incredible. The gameplay, amazing. Loved it. Story, absolutely horrible. Reprehensible. Just the worst story ever written, Neil Drunkman. I'm looking at you.
And that's why I just, come on. The reviews, I'm done. Like, come on. It's a popularity contest.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
You know what isn't a bad story at all? Red Dead Redemption 2. Now that is a story. Which didn't win
Game of the Year because the freaking God of War. Which
you know what? Here's the thing. I said it back then. I was like, you know what? I'm okay with God of War winning because I loved God of War 2018. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. But I loved Red Dead Redemption 2 more. But replaying it now and going through that story, I'm like, how the F did this not win Game of the Year? And then it came to me.
It's
an epiphany.
So much better. Dude.
I was like,
RDR is so much better.
Oh, it is. An epiphany, though, I had. With talking with Colt on the phone, I go, oh, that's right. Keeley. It's the Keeleys. That's why. That's why.
Maybe,
Because Red
or
Dead
it's the
2
media
did
who
win in
actually
other
votes for it.
people's. Red Dead 2 did win in other people's Game of the Year that year.
Yeah.
It was
yeah.
the big
But-
one was the Game Awards, and it lost to
And
God
this
of War.
one's determined by the media, and
Yeah.
the media. Again,
Sony has
it's a
always been the
popularity
darling.
contest.
Yeah, and Sony is
You
the
know,
darling. It is.
It
And
is.
anybody who says
It
that
is.
they're not, they're full of themselves. They are. They're the
sucks.
darling. They're the darling, and you have to play their game, or else you don't get the game. That's how it works. You
Yeah.
get blacklisted with Sony. That's how it works.
Whatever. Like, sad, but it is what it is.
Yeah. See, I got people in the chat saying yes, RDR2 should have won. It should have. It should
100%.
have.
RDR2 is way better than God of War. God of
Yeah.
War's okay, it's fine, but like RDR2 is freaking phenomenal. I don't understand how that thing didn't even get me.
That story was incredible. Incredible. Destroys God of War's story. Destroys it.
Just the
And
amount
I
of
like God of
content,
War
sheer
story.
amount of content. And then you have on top of that
Yeah.
killer story, right? Come on. And
Yeah.
by the way, it looked stunning. Oh wait, it didn't look stunning on the PS4. That's the problem. That's why it had to lose.
Oh, because I remember playing Red Dead 2 on the Xbox One X was a thing of beauty. And don't you remember, there was a lot of
Kidding, of
people
course,
out there.
Came up the next year on the One X.
No. Here's the thing. On the One X, journalists were even buying One X's just to play Red Dead Redemption 2. Do you remember that? They were posting articles about that.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, yeah, if you want to play Red Dead 2, you got to have a 1X. It was incredible. on the
Oh my
1X.
goodness.
Incredible. You're cracking
But what a
yourself
game.
up
It was
over there.
definitely awesome. I'm
Yeah.
shocked it didn't win freaking Game of the Year. It should have absolutely won Game of the Year. It
Yeah.
had the music, right? The songs. It had everything. It was wow. Come on.
I know, dude. Like I said, I'm playing through it now, and I haven't replayed it in so many years that I've forgotten some of the missions. So as I'm playing it, it's like fresh to me, and it's hitting the right notes that I need it to hit, especially right now where I was in between games. I was like, what do I want to play? But this one is just, man, I don't think I'm going to finish this game before Wukong comes out, because that's the next one I'm going to play is Wukong. And of course I got to play it on the PC because it's not on Xbox, but Wukong will be a great game. That's coming out next week. I don't know if I'm going to get it day one because I'm still playing through Red Dead. Red Dead's that good.
Well, it's a
right
good
now.
idea. You probably don't want to wait for patches anyway, right? It's almost guaranteed that.
Probably. Speaking of patches, though, did you see the Starfield land vehicle leak that came out? The video.
I didn't see it yet, but
Hold on.
I
Let me see
heard
if I
it
can
happened.
pull it up. Yeah, it definitely happened, and I don't know. It looks all right. It is what it is. It's a land vehicle, and it's in first person. We saw a little bit at the showcase from third person, but it was just a couple of seconds. But yeah, the Starfield leak footage, it's okay. Let me see if this is it here. I could pull this up, share screen. Boom. There, it should be on the screen. There it is. If you haven't seen it yet. Yeah, it's, it looks pretty much how I thought it would look. I mean, it's just driving through on this planet, and it's going to make it a lot easier when they have you collect things or go off into the distance to check out an outpost or whatever, because some of the distance you had to traverse in the game was quite long on some of the planets. So vehicles should have been there day one. They really should have. I think it would have added to the game.
Yeah, I wonder if they changed. Maybe it stays the same, but like one of the things they had was like you had a grid on the planet, right? And you could only land in one grid. And if you had to go beyond that grid, you had to go up and then land in another grid, right?
Yeah.
So I wonder if they made that more seamless now with the vehicle, because it kind of makes it viable to be able to go grid to grid within a vehicle. But I don't know if they worked on that piece or not. Maybe you still have that limitation and you have to go back up and then come back down to another grid.
Yeah, I hope, that would be nice if they took that away, but I don't know if that's so easily taken away and they could just implement that, like where it's just all open. and you can go where you want. I don't know, but it was pretty big, even though there was that stop, those grids. They were pretty wide. So I don't know. You still had a lot of distance to walk. And it looks all right. It's, again, we don't get the feel for it just watching it, but it looks pretty much how you would expect it to. That's my perspective.
Is this coming? When is this coming out?
It
should have been out by now.
No, I don't know. I want to say they pushed it till next year, or Rand was saying that he doesn't think it'll be out this year. He thinks they're going to be pushing it back. I don't know though.
For the vehicles? The vehicles were supposed to be out before Shattered Space.
Oh, that's right. Shattered Space wasn't going to be out till next year. The vehicles might be out within a month or so. I don't know. I don't know. There's no release date that I know of. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, I don't see anything. Yeah, go figure.
I mean, it is what it is. I just wanted to show that, especially if you haven't seen it. But now you did. You have. So, okay. So there's a couple of topics here I want to bring up real quick. COD. This is a big one. This is actually one that it's baffling me. So, COD Black Ops 6, the marketing for Game Pass. So, we know that the marketing is huge for Black Ops. And, as an Xbox game, it's fine. They market it, Xbox. But for some reason, it's not being tagged with Game Pass. And one of the rumors floating around that we heard, like people like Paris was saying, that off the record or through rumors, he said he's heard that they weren't allowed to for some reason. And, the other rumor was one that somebody said that the FTC, and this is one that I was kind of thinking, and I brought it up as a hypothetical talking to Colt the other day. I was like, maybe they can't do it because the FTC put some kind of restriction on them, because
so the FTC hasn't put any restriction on them because the FTC hasn't gotten to actually talk to them yet. The FTC unfortunately decided to go sue them instead of actually sitting at a table and figuring out options. So it would have to be the CMA or the EU, but I don't think that's it. I don't think they care.
What do you think it is? Because it's really weird.
Now, first, for me, this is not rumor. I heard it firsthand from Xbox. So this is not rumor.
Whoa.
This is just facts.
Whoa. Okay.
And so it's facts. They can't do it. Now, to me, I think it's contractual. By the way, they want to. They just can't. I think it's contractual. I think this is how they got Jim Ryan to sign a contract for 10 years. They said, we will not do that marketing, and we will let it not be associated with Game Pass. If you take that,
for 10 years, did you just say 10 years? So they cannot market it on Game Pass.
10-year deal. I don't know how long that piece lasts.
Okay, let me just say this.
No particulars. This is all me guessing. It's guessing beyond the fact that they can't do it. That I know, but the why they can't do it, this is me guessing.
Okay. So if they did indeed sign something, and let's just say hypothetically, it's for multiple years or even 10 years, that is stupid. That is insane to not be able to market your biggest game in your only you don't have exclusives anymore, or you won't in the future, or at least that's the way it's looking. Game Pass is your bread and butter. If you cannot market arguably your biggest game within Game Pass is either going to get so expensive to even get all that first party, including COD, or it's going to die. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, so
you need to market Game Pass.
From a Microsoft perspective, you have a $70 billion acquisition, and it hinges on saying, okay, I won't put Game Pass next to that game for N number of years. Whatever that is, 2 years, 5 years, I don't know what it is, okay? Are you really going to walk away from a $70 billion deal because of that? Well, the answer is obviously not.
Well,
they're going to just go ahead and sign it.
But let me ask you something.
After that, they own it, they do whatever they want with it afterwards.
Yeah, right? But they already they conceded so much at that point already. They've already give 10-year deals to their competitors for these games. Why in the hell would they say, "Oh yeah, and we're not going to market Game Pass alongside that game"?
No, I don't
That
think
is
it's
insane.
Xbox went to Jim's like, hey, this is what we're gonna do. We're just not gonna
No,
market
no,
it.
no, no.
It's the
They
opposite.
conceded
That's what
that
Jim would've
though.
come back
But
with,
they
and they're like, you know
conceded
what?
that.
Fuck it, let's just do it.
It's still a concession, which is stupid. Whoever signed that concession is dumb. That is a dumb thing to do. Game
This
Pass is
why,
your bread and
Fonz,
butter.
You don't run a multi-trillion-dollar company.
Okay. But let me tell you something.
You're
Do
being
you think? Let
emotional
me ask you. Okay.
instead
Let me
of
ask you something.
rational
Let me.
about how
Okay.
you would get through something.
Let me
like that.
ask you something though, Hargeet.
Yes.
Do you think not being able to market your biggest game, because it's objective here, this is not an argument we can have about what's the biggest game going into Game Pass. That is the biggest game going into Game Pass. If you cannot market that it's going into Game Pass, don't you understand that is a big deal?
It's the biggest continuous.
That
game.
is a
Because
huge deal.
Minecraft technically is their biggest game, right? Minecraft is still bigger than Call of Duty, but revenue-wise, I think Call of Duty wins. But either way, like, go ahead. Yeah, so they're still marketing it. They just can't say Game Pass when they're doing marketing from the Activision side.
Man.
Okay, how long that is, I don't know, but like, I understand if it was contractual and they're like, hey, we got to just deal with this, just like the cloud rights. Permanently, for 15 years, everything ABK puts out, those cloud rights do not belong to Xbox. All those games permanently, right? So this new cloud, Black Ops 6, they will never have the cloud rights to it. Ubisoft permanently owns.
Yeah,
the cloud
no,
rights to
I
Black Ops
understand. They made a lot of concessions to get
They
this
made
deal
those
done, and we understand. Like, I'm not completely ignorant to the fact of the business side of things. I just look at more of it like on from a gamer's perspective. And the way I'm looking at it is, if you
What's
can't
the
market
lost
that
you?
big game, no, if you can't market that big game, you are not showing people. You're essentially showing a lot of people that aren't in the know that, oh, you can buy it on Xbox or you can buy it on PlayStation. I own a PlayStation. I'm going to buy
or
it on
PC
PlayStation
or Nintendo.
But my
yeah,
point is,
okay.
but my point is, they're not getting that option. Hey, I can get it on Game Pass. Like, they're not getting that through to them. So how are you expected to grow a service that you can't market for?
Well, so the service itself can market it.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, but with what games? Not
They can
COD.
put Call of Duty as one of the games that's in. Again, Game
They're not
Pass
allowed.
can market itself.
Yeah, but they're
Call
not
of
allowed to put Call of
Duty-
Duty there.
No, Call of Duty cannot market Game Pass.
No,
Vice
you
versa is
cannot
totally
have,
fine.
No, you cannot have a commercial, a Game Pass commercial with Call of Duty.
Where did you get that idea?
Have you seen one? I haven't.
Well, have you seen a commercial for Game Pass?
No, I have. I have seen commercials for Game Pass. I have not seen one advertising Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Have not seen that. And that's what I'm
That
talking
may
about is
happen,
Black
right?
Ops
That
6
may
and
happen.
everything
Because
after.
from an Xbox perspective, they can still market whatever games they have. It's just that
Yeah.
Activision can't do that.
So here's the thing. So Xbox themselves can say, yes, this is our game. Xbox, they can splash Xbox all over it, but you will not see a Game Pass logo splashed on that Xbox
From
COD.
the Xbox perspective, you will. So if I look at the
No,
trailer
you
from
won't.
the Xbox site, it should have Game Pass. I'll
Okay.
take a look. But
What about on Activision's site? What about
no, again, as I said, Activision won't even say Xbox. It's going to be
and what about
agnostic.
Game Pass's site too? No, you won't see Black
So,
Ops 6
let me,
here on Game Pass.
if you go to like the Xbox Game Pass page.
Let's
Is that what you're saying?
Let's see. Game Pass. I want to go to their page.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it's there because it's available for download from my Game Pass.
When
page.
people are watching for ads or they're watching YouTube videos and they get ads on those videos and COD comes up, you won't see Game Pass at the end of that. It'll say Xbox, but it won't say
let's
Game
see.
Pass.
Okay, Call of Duty reveal
That's the
trailer.
problem.
Let me make sure.
That's the
Let
problem.
me go to the end.
Colt.
Yeah. So at the end of this,
Dutch.
it says, okay,
It's
Xbox.
always one more scored. Yeah. Yeah, Activision site says Xbox and Game Pass. Oh, it does. But they can't play the commercial with Game Pass on ads or something, right?
Well, I mean, it also seems like that's changing, which is good. So maybe whatever issues they had, they ironed out. right? So
Well, why would they have any issues? Why is any of this going on in the first place? And these rumors about, oh, they can't do it and they can't market it with Game Pass.
We don't know, right? I know that I gave you the firsthand remarks I got back.
They said can't do it. So they can't do it,
but they can't, right? And why? I don't know. I didn't delve into it. I should have, but I didn't delve into it. But that's what I got back.
Yeah, Colt says on the Call of Duty YouTube page, it will not say Game Pass. They can't, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
And if Xbox has clarified that with you, and not clarified, but told you they can't, then that's from the source.
Yeah,
they can't do it. And that is that is insane. I'll ask you this because you've been a proponent of Xbox needs to market Game Pass more and more. They need to market Game Pass.
Oh, hell yeah.
And
the reason I asked the question was that I'm like, I want to see everywhere I see Call of Duty Game Pass underneath it. Call of Duty Game Pass. Call of Duty Game Pass, right? That's the way it should be. But it's like, oh, you can't do that? Oh shit. Okay. Well, that's that.
If Jim Ryan wrote that for Xbox to concede to, kudos to Jim Ryan.
Kudos to
what
him.
A smart
kudos to him, man.
Mother effer.
And I don't know how long that lasts, whatever, but if it's 10 years, kudos to them. If it's a couple of years, again, kudos to them, but that means a couple of years later, they can at least start going into, totally marketing it, right? But hey,
that's
it is.
Crazy.
Look, I would take the deal. It is what it is, because even 10 years lapses, now you own it and do whatever you want, right? Because this is what's going to happen eventually, right? They can do whatever they want after that.
But let's be honest, though. The bigger play for them was the mobile and everything. They wanted that mobile
and
money.
PC.
Yeah.
World of Warcraft. You got King, right? You got Warzone. It's a fantastic.
That's why I know from the business side. Of course, that's why they wanted the deal. Still, they're like, forget it. We'll just sign this. But from the Xbox side and the Game Pass division side, it's like, what are you doing? Like that is the moneymaker right there for Game Pass. This is a
console worry thing, and you gotta have to. Like, unfortunately, from an Xbox perspective, the console war thing is a thing of the past. They're done with it, and they're gonna give you a console if you want it, and they're gonna give you a PC if you want it. They're gonna put it on PlayStation if you want it.
Cool.
They're gonna put it on Nintendo if you want it. They're gonna put it on cloud. They don't care. They just want to get you the games, and then they want to give you a platform if you want to have the platform.
By the way, Colt says that it was a concession, or he thinks it's a concession from the regulators, not Jim.
So then it would have to be the CMA but look, each one of them publicly submitted what they had, right? And none of them really made any claims about that. So I don't know about that.
It is what it is, folks. They can't market Game Pass with COD. We don't know why, but they can't do it. It's just not happening. But staying with Xbox here for the last topic here, we're going to talk about Gamescom. Apparently, they're saying this from Xbox that they're going to have the biggest booth yet for 2024 Gamescom.
And they have lots of games to show, which is awesomeness.
They have a lot of games that they're going to be bringing there, but also games they're going to be announcing. New announcements.
Yes.
That's exciting.
I love it.
So, look, he's like a kid in the candy store. He's so happy right now. What do you think they're good? What could it be that they could announce here?
They're going to be smaller games. Don't expect something massive, right? Because that would have been at the June showcase. But they're going to be smaller games, but that's okay, right? So expect something maybe like a Japanese game, because they have a bunch of things working on, going on with Japanese developers right now. Expect some other smaller games at like the Replaced level or something like that. We still have yet to see the release date for Towerborn, right? But I think they'll have some new games in that vein. It'll be smaller games.
Well, what about Double Fine? What about Double Fine? Have they talked about what they were working on yet?
No, and they do have a small game they're working on that maybe they'll show already something. Had, right? So that's a possibility. That's something they could bring in. I don't know how many first-party things, though. It could be like an equivalent to Pentiment or something like that they have in the development, like that they just had a small team working on. Certainly you could see something like that first party. I was thinking more of third-party deals. There's going to be like some smaller indie type games, and they'll be coming to Game Pass, right? So that'd be my guess, and that's totally fine. I think that's a great idea. Why not?
By the way, the poll: do you guys trust most game reviewers these days? It's a resounding no, 79%.
Yeah, wow.
20% say yes. There's 20% of my audience is like, I believe everything I read. I believe it all.
We're ready to believe you.
Yeah.
For those Ghostbusters fans out there.
But yeah, the female version or the original?
No. That movie doesn't exist. I don't know what you're talking about. No.
Thank you. That's how I look at Last of Us 2. That doesn't exist in the same timeline as The Last of Us. That game is it's a separate game on its own. That's a fun game. However, it is not The Last of Us. Yeah, that's how I look at that game too. But yeah, God, that female Ghostbusters was horrible.
It
Freaking
was so
horrible.
bad.
I don't
it was
care.
so bad.
People cancel me if you want. I don't care.
I got it
God,
free
that was
as
terrible.
part of like signing up for, I think it was Movies Anywhere or something like that. They just gave it to me for free, and I'm like, fine. So I watched it, and I'm like, oh my God, this is trash.
Yeah, no, the original
so
Ghostbusters, man. God, Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, all those.
Yep.
Man, great classics. But yeah. Yeah, ashes to ashes.
Second,
They
I'm
also
gonna get a
trust the
refill.
media. They trust the news. Yeah, exactly. I don't want to get into the media or any of that stuff. And it goes down the dangerous road, and people start coming after you. Politics and all that weird stuff. Don't want to do it. Hargeet's got himself another beverage of his
Stevia,
choice here.
yes.
Yeah, the media, the mass
Stevia.
media. Zevia.
No,
Zevia.
the Zevia. That's my soda.
It's media. He's drinking media. He's drinking the Kool-Aid. I see what you're doing.
That's the way it is.
Eugenia says, I trust the news as much as a 3.5 foot tall girl that can throw a 100 pound guy. Yep, exactly. Yeah, don't. I mean,
Wow.
not to get political or anything, but like you're telling me, actually, no, I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna refrain because people will think I'm thinking one way and I'm not. But whatever, you guys, it's so dumb. Anyways, Gamescom should be a pretty cool freaking show for them because this is the largest gaming event there is every year. Why not show something new and cool? It'd be fun. It'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and hopefully they also show stuff from Europe, right? From the European theater.
Yeah.
So
sure.
hopefully there's some games coming in from some European developers, and they have some in the works. So hopefully they can do that. The other thing I'd love for them to do, which I mean, this is just off the wall if it would happen, is they acquire GSC, right? The developers of Stalker 2, right? It's coming out. It's they've certainly supported that studio through the whatever they've been going through, right? If they want to garner like positive mindshare in Europe, this is a massive way to just do something like that, right? You're at Gamescom, and you announce buying the Ukrainian studio in support of what they're going through, right? So I think that'd be fantastic if they pull it off. But they'd have to have the foresight to do it. It couldn't cost them much more than they've already spent trying to get this game done, right? So I don't know. I'm not sure what their plans are, if the studio even wants to do that or not. But that would be a fantastic announcement if they do something like that. I just don't know what the viability of that is.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing Stalker 2 myself.
Yeah.
I understand that's a real small studio. I still don't want them to pick up studios, but if they did, and it's a small studio like this one, so be it, I guess. I don't know. I will say this though, being a studio that was essentially under fire, and that's almost literal. The fact that they even finished this game is amazing, right? I'm looking forward to it, but I'm not expecting a lot from it because of the conditions and everything that they've went through. So I'm not expecting amazing, but I'm definitely wanting good or to great out of this game because I do like. I know some of this team used to work with 4A Games, and they made like the Metro series and stuff. And I love those games. Like Metro Exodus was so good. So I want this game to be really good. But I'm just not going to go in going blow my mind. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And I'm good with that. but I'm excited for it. Did we get a release date for this Stalker 2, by the way?
Yeah, it's November like 19 or 16 or
Okay.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is definitely
It'll be
out there
interesting.
already as far as the release date.
Danny Passion Official with the $2 super chat says, it's clear it's about the games, not consoles. Facts. Platforms, the platforms themselves aren't as relevant as they once were back in the day. You're seeing more and more
November
games going to other platforms. We got an announcement today that the game Until Dawn, the remaster at PlayStation, is actually also going to PC day and date. So, I mean,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, all their games are going to PC day and date. There's only one game that isn't, and that's Astro. That's it. Everything else is going PC day and date.
Eventually.
So-
Yeah, eventually.
No, right now. Every game that they've been releasing over the last like year and a half, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's all just going day and date PC. It's after Ragnarok.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, everything that
It's like
they've released.
all
Yeah.
just been going day and date, and up like going forward, everything we've seen so far has been PC day and date except for Astro.
Yeah, Red Wolf, super chat, $20. Thanks, Red Wolf. You did not have to do that, brother. You could just put this in a regular chat. I would have been happy reading it. He says, I'm spreading the word on Stalker 2. You guys absolutely have to check out the new deep dive to get a vibe for what the game is. It's my most
Yeah, just like half
anticipated
of it.
game of the year. Also glad you guys are back at it. Yeah, for sure. Last week we did a small RDX mini reunion show. Dealer was not there, and Tim Dog. I invited Tim Dog. He declined, but I invited him because he's still a friend. But it was too late for him. Dealer, on the other hand, just he's not answering me right now, and it's been about a month since I talked to him. I'm sure he's fine because people have said that he's gotten achievements recently on Xbox, even though he's not online. You could see new achievements pop up, and so he's playing games. He's still out there, Last I heard, he told me he was fine. He was touching grass, and he was doing a lot of things outside of the home. So good on him, man. I think he just wanted a break from all the craziness going on with the YouTube worlds. So I don't know. That's just all I can tell you on Dealer right now. But we had a great show last week, Hargeet. That was really fun.
It was great.
And
Awesome
I've been
having everybody
talking to the guys, and we've been
You got zocked.
Yeah, we got zocked a lot. He zocked and zocked all over. No, pause.
It was a zocking great time.
Yeah, but I think it was a zocking great time. I think we're going to do those. We're going to try to do those. We're going to try to do those like once a month or something. And we're going to just go to all of our channels and do it. Like D's got a channel, Hargeet's got a channel, Colt's got a channel, Zocker's got a channel. And we'll just do it on each other's channel once a month and just get together and talk about the gaming news and stuff. It was a lot of fun. And a lot of people really enjoyed it, man. That was my biggest feud show in a long time, in months. So, and I got a lot of good feedback, a lot of nasty feedback as well, but F those guys. Seriously, hate, that's fine. You're at least watching. So haters, you're doing me a solid, giving me a view. It's fine. But I had a blast last week. It was really fun. I can't wait to do it again. But anyways, this is pretty much the end of this show. We talked. I don't know if you've got anything else, but I have no more topics.
Yeah, I mean, what are you looking forward to from Gamescom? Are you looking forward to any specific games?
No, for me, no, not really. I just want to see them present some good stuff, whatever comes out of it. Even if it's a smaller game.
Did you see the list that's out there of confirmed games that they're going to be showing?
No, I'm talking more about like the games they're going to announce, the smaller games. I want to see something,
Got it.
that interests me. Or it interests people out there into playing. It's just Xbox just needs more goodwill. They need more games to come out that appeal to a large audience, and They need that. And it's not about being part of the Xbox rah, let's go. It's just, I want to see gaming get better, get healthier. Gaming right now, it seems, is just, it's on this weird decline, and I can't explain it. It's not just Xbox, it's not just Sony. It's like, I don't know. I just don't see like this generation being that freaking fantastic. I don't.
And I think the difference is that it's taking even longer for games to come out. And in between, like the beginning of this generation, we had COVID, which slowed down the development of bigger games,
for sure.
Right?
For sure. That was a big thing about
for me, I don't necessarily care because I play all sorts of games. And so I still have so many cool games that have come out and I've played. Yeah. And I've enjoyed Hogwarts Legacy was fantastic. That was such an awesome experience. And that came out like last year, right?
Yeah, that was a good game. Really good.
I was like, that was awesome. There's plenty of games like that.
Elden Ring was fantastic. The DLC was amazing. Elden Ring.
A lot of people like Baldur's Gate, right? A lot of people like
Baldur's Gate 3 was amazing. Yeah. But so there's just not enough of a cadence for me.
Games.
I want more.
To be honest, I loved Halo Infinite, except for the stupid no maps. Right? Come on. At some point, I just wanted maps. I don't care about anything of the other things. I just wanted maps.
Yeah,
you could have more fun on different maps. But it now is way better. It is fine. It's great right now. But
by the way,
Halo Infinite was awesome as well.
I think my biggest gripe right now is honestly with Sony, and not because I don't think Sony is doing bad or anything. For me personally, Sony's games this generation didn't hit like they did last generation for me.
They're derivative.
Didn't hit
because they're all sequels. There's nothing new. Returnal is the only new game.
But we can say it's because they're sequels. But I can point to Red Dead 2 and go, and that was an amazing sequel. For me, God of War Ragnarok was a good game. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed it. But there was a lot of moments in that game I was bored to tears. It wasn't as good as 2018. And I want more from Sony because I love their type of games. I love those story-based sad dad simulators. Call them what you will. I love those games. I want more of it. Yeah. Blaze is in the chat, by the way. What's up, Blaze? He's laughing. Wow. LMAO, because he loves Ragnarok, probably. Blaze, Ragnarok doesn't hold a candle to 2018 at all. And it's a good game.
That Horizon 2 is good.
Just not amazing.
Didn't seem to like it, but I still haven't started it. I bought it on PC. I'm really hoping it's good. I love the first one, so I'm hoping that I'm going to enjoy, Horizon Forbidden West.
Yeah. And I still got more.
We'll see.
Yeah, I got more to look forward to also coming from PlayStation, but I'm waiting for the PC version like Rebirth and Stellar Blade. Waiting for those to hit PC.
Well, but those aren't PlayStation games, right?
You have to consider them PlayStation games because they're
like Stalker is a PlayStation game. I mean, like an Xbox game. I guess I don't.
Sort of,
I don't
yeah,
know,
sort of.
It's like whatever.
Yeah, 2018 is way better. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to a lot of games. It's just that I'm kind of in that funk where I'm waiting for the PC versions of these games. And GTA 6 is going to be the one caveat where I don't adhere to that because I can't not play GTA 6 day one. I have to. So I'm going to play it on console, and then a year or so later, I'll play it on GTA. I know, but I love Rockstar games so much that I cannot help myself but play.
I think I waited for RDR. I waited for RDR because I'm like, I want to play that on the One X. And the One X came out a year later. If I remember right? It came out a year later, I think.
No,
right? I think that's right.
Yeah. Maybe. But I know with the RDR2 going from the console to PC was about a year and 1 month. I think it was only like 1 month off.
No, it was the opposite. It was it came out in 2018. Yeah, Red Dead came out in 2018, which at that point the One X had been out for a year.
Yeah, so it came. That's where I played it day one was One X, and then a year later it came out. A year and 1 month it came out on the PC in November of 2019. So Rockstar, because somebody was telling me the other day, you know, they're going to wait 2 years for GTA 6. And I was like, no, you won't have to wait 2 years. I bet you they have it ready within a year, just like they did Red Dead 2. And they did. So, yeah, I have to play GTA 6 day one.
I still don't understand that, by the way. I
love
don't understand why they don't put it on PC on the same day.
I
That's just such bogusness.
I don't know either. Maybe they're in that same mindset of Sony where they think, oh, we can have people double dip, because people will do that with Rockstar games. People quadruple dipped with GTA 5.
Yeah.
I know people who bought multiple copies of GTA 5, and I'm like, why? I bought one. I played it, and it was great. Fantastic. But I'm not rebuying it on other platforms. I didn't even buy it on PC, honestly. I didn't.
Yeah.
I don't feel the need to. Like, but Red Dead 2, I double dipped there, of course, but I love Red Dead 2. Red Dead 2 is my second all-time favorite game. It was my first, but now it's Elden Ring. Elden Ring surpassed it. Elden Ring. Incredible.
Oh yeah, the PS5 Pro.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to play, GTA 6, I mean, you can make that argument and say the best version of GTA 6 will be on the PS5 Pro. I won't argue against that. You're 100% right. Now, where I will argue with you is, will it be 60 frames? I don't think so. But if they do get it to 60 frames, man, I'd be lying if I told you I wouldn't be enticed to buy a PS5 Pro for that 60 frames, but I'm going to hold off because you know
you're probably
why?
looking at $600-700.
Do you know why?
Really worth
yeah,
it?
You know why I would hold off though over that, because now that I've been on PC, what I've noticed about these console games, it doesn't matter what console we're talking about here, when it comes to these performance modes, they're not a locked 60 frames. Most of them, 90% of the games that have a performance mode at 60, they're not locked. They hover in the 40s and 50s, and like,
yep.
Now that I've played like 80 plus frames on these games consistently, I'm like, man, the feeling is so much better.
Then you turn on DLSS and it's like, oh, I get my.
Well, then I get 100 and something frames,
with everything.
Or some games it's like 200 something frames, you know, depending on how old the game is. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Anyways,
wait till the 5090, right? Good God, I don't even know what that's gonna do, but we'll see.
Yeah, you're gonna burn your freaking house down with that. It's gonna be so hot. It's gonna be so crazy. It's gonna be.
There is
I think
that,
it's gonna melt.
right? But yeah,
God,
whatever.
Man. What's it gonna take? Like a freaking 2,000 watt power supply?
Apparently, it's
no.
It's
I'm just
not
kidding.
as.
You think it'll be more efficient?
More though, but it's not that much more. But it is going to be a lot more powerful. So it's like 68% more power.
I'm just hoping. I'm just praying that my Intel CPU holds up because of all the controversy that's going on now with Intel.
Did you get the patches yet? I don't know when the patches.
Well, here's the thing,
but the microcode patches are coming.
Yeah, the microcode patches are out, but I don't know if they're going to be out for, because Corsair has to do their own kind of patch.
Yeah.
And they have to put something out. So I'm waiting for Corsair to do that.
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
Because
over the next few weeks, they'll come out
proprietary stuff.
Because it's critical to all of them, right? Because they don't want to deal with the RMAs, so they're going to get it out pretty fast.
Yeah, because I right now everything's been good. I personally, I've already turned down in the BIOS. I turned all the voltages down. I did that like a month ago, and my games have ran great.
Just 13, right? Gen 13 or 14?
14.
Gen 14.
Yeah, so it's the latest.
Gen 14 at least didn't have the weird corrosion issue. Was it? There was a
the 100. Yeah, the 13900K. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, that had some actual physical damage issues, right? But that was early on. But yeah, it's just microcode, so hopefully it'll get fixed soon.
Hopefully. Yeah. No, you know what? Malibu Jack, he says after about 100 frames, you can't tell anymore. Exactly. After I get over 80, it's hard for me to tell. Seriously, like after 80 frames, I'm like, okay. I don't get the benefit between, like, honestly, when I'm playing a game at 120 frames and, 200 or whatever, it's all the same. It's all, to me, the perception anyway. I'm sure there's probably a little less latency there, but I don't perceive that. Like I said, after like 85 frames, it's all the same, the perception. But yeah, a lot of people in my chat have now moved to PC. And again, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm not moving away completely from consoles. Like, I play most of my games on PC, but I will still buy the new consoles when they come out because I'm interested in the tech. It's fun to play on it's convenient, especially in certain situations. But yeah, if it's a really big game and I'm really pumped for it, and it's on PC day one, I'll pick it up on PC and I'll play it there for sure.
Yeah. So I don't know if you knew about the AMD story, but AMD said they don't expect to sell a lot more this holiday. Right? They're expecting a down year
from
consoles?
Last
year for themselves, and that was
includes consoles
in due
too,
part because they're selling less consoles. And so somebody else took that and said, hey, that means there's no PS5 Pro this year. I'm like, well, that's not necessarily true because the PS5 Pro isn't exactly going to like sell 20 million consoles. That thing's only going to sell so much. So if they sell 500,000, that's probably a success for them. That's just kind of the way it is, right? So
yeah.
I wouldn't have expected it to be a lot. So I don't know that means it's not coming this year or not, but AMD is not expecting a lot this fiscal because of like lower console demand. So
for sure. Now, before we before we get out of here, KLZ 180 in the chat had a question for me. He said, "What is happening with This Mysterious World?" That was the other podcast I had created. That I started, got 4 episodes in, and stopped. Let me just answer that by saying that I've been trying to rework the show. The problem with that show is it was predicated on the basis of that show. The foundation was to get interaction from the community, to get stories and stuff sent to me, emailed to me. And I would talk about them, read them, and things like that on the show. That had stopped after the 4th episode. I got no more. I still don't have any. So I'm trying to bring it back in a way where I could probably reopen. The channel's still open, but like start on that channel, maybe start making videos about that stuff and do subjects, like pick a subject, make videos on it, put it out there. And then in due time, as I grow the channel and get bigger, maybe then I could do a podcast where the interactivity would come. And I jumped the gun on that. I'll be honest. I tried to jump in feet first too fast, and it wasn't right. I know I could do a show like that, but you need content. You need a lot of content for a show like that. So I think I'm going to start with with making some videos on that and putting them out, because I did get quite a bit of subscribers to the, 400 something like that. That's pretty good for a start, especially the first month. And I know if I made content in that genre, I know I could, and I'm not just saying this, but I know I can be as good as a lot of those bigger YouTubers that talk about that stuff on YouTube. I know I could. I'm confident. So I'm really considering that. So I'm looking into doing that, and maybe later on bringing a show like that back. Because again, you need to have that content. You need that kind of show. You need help from your audience. So.
Or you have to go figure out the content. Maybe there's like people you can talk to. I don't know. You have to kind of go research, kind of do the, like the marketing, get the people on.
Yeah, for sure. And again, like I even reached out to people to try to get them on the show to interview. And there is a lot of big leaguing, I guess. Like they just won't even give you the time of day. They won't even answer or respond to DMs or anything. So there's that. And I get it. If you're a really small channel, if you don't have thousands and thousands of subs, a lot of those people won't even give you the time of day. They just won't. By the way, Danny Passion Official, I was not going to skip this, by the way, but thank you for reminding me. He said for the $2 super chat, thank you. He says we need more AA developers because AAA games are anemic. Yeah, I mean, Hargeet would argue that too.
Yeah, smaller games, you'll get more of them faster. That's always what I'm kind of done with the whole spend too much time and make every blade of grass perfect. I just don't care. I'm not looking at the blade of grass. I want to play the games. I'll take 3 Mass Effects in a generation instead of waiting. How's it long? How long has it been? Like, I just want games, man.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. Yeah, no, I thank you for that question, though, KLZ. That's a good question because a lot of people have been asking me about that. And if you hear anybody ask them, point to this time of the show just so they can hear my answer on what's going on with this mysterious world. But I definitely loved doing that show, and I'd like to do that again someday because it was fun. It was really fun, and the people you got to hear were real people that had stories, real stories that. Real to them anyway. I can't tell you what to believe, but man, it was incredible stuff. And I want to do it again. Anyways, with that said, I want to say, Hargeet, you can do the honor. Go and tell everybody where they can find you, where they can get your book and your channel.
Yeah, so you can get my book if you want to. It's shop.johnny.us. It's a sort of Mass Effect-y story and a sci-fi story that I created. It was supposed to be a video game, but ended up becoming a novel. Check that out if you want to. You can buy the merch too. I've got the shirt on. And if you want to subscribe to my channel, HargeetChani1 on YouTube, please subscribe, and I'll keep dropping videos as I can. And next up will be, I think, it'll be Friday. So it'll be Night Shift with C-Money and Doodle at 7 p.m. US Eastern on Point for Gamers. So check that out if you'd like to.
How is that a night shift, by the way? 7 p.m. Eastern. It's kind of like an evening shift. Like that's that.
It is,
man,
but
this
if
is
you
the
listen
night
to
shift
it,
right here. This is the late one right
crazy.
here. This is the pretty late one.
This is true. Yeah.
Yeah. This is pretty late. Because what is it your time right now?
It's approaching midnight. It's 11:45.
You see that?
11:46.
You are a trooper. Well, thank you, my friend, for being here another week. I want to let everybody know in the chat. Actually, thank you for being here. Thank you for the support. I appreciate you guys every week. A lot of you anyway. Same familiar avatars and names. I appreciate you guys week in, week out. And everybody listening, I thank you for listening. I think we ranked like number 36 in Portugal the last week in the gaming charts, and I'm like, what? Anyways,
wow.
Yeah, that's what I was sent. You were number 36 in gaming, and I'm like, well, how many podcasts can there be on gaming in Portugal? 40?
Well, they're 36.
Yeah, 36. But anyway, I just, what? I know we're small time, but I thank everybody that listens or watches the show. With that said, I want to say, well, until next week, game on.